The Fair Housing Center of Metropolitan Detroit. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at any time. To file a fair housing...
Good morning, this is Aaron with the Fair Housing.
Hi, Aaron. This is Lisa Renee Salem. In addition to a 3-day notice to leave my apartment, I also have a whole slew of lease violations, which includes a typed letter by Richard Griffen that says I was name-calling, threatening, and that I threatened to kill him and the construction worker. What is happening here is Richard committed a crime, and I don't know if you've seen my email that I wrote last night after I was able to process the terror and the trauma of yesterday. But what happened, I'll notice or anything like that aside, because Aaron, I never refused to comply. The problem is I was never given the option to comply. And when Richard came to my door, I had no idea it was Richard. It was somebody knocking on the other side of the door. And me and Richard have recently had a telephone a face-to-face conversation in which I recorded him. And I explained to him, and this was a conversation, it's a long 23-minute conversation where me and Richard were supposed to be clear in the air and, getting on the same page and coordinating with each other. And I thought that's what we were doing, and I explained to him the danger my life is in, having already been kidnapped out of this apartment with a 13-minute video to prove it by the Centerline PD with the master key that they have to all apartments with no locks to safely lock ourselves in, and having survived, I have survived 3 electromagnetic terrorist attack in this apartment by them. Most recently last week, which is why I was in bed for 6 days and unable to go back to the doctor to get the paper that I was anticipating was faxed over, just to find out yesterday it wasn't. So this was all explained to Richard's face. At the same time, I handed him my 7-page psych evaluation that verifies I am who I am, and I am not a threat to myself or others, and that I am, in fact, the victim here, and there is no reason for them to kidnap me on false mental health petitions ever again. And I explained to Richard that when somebody knocks on the door, I straight go into panic, and I start calling my UN Mission of Foreign Affairs contacts, and I get a call to the Centerline PD to call your pigs down. This is an intelligence matter, and it usually takes about 20 minutes before they are called off. Well, I thought that's what was happening yesterday, and I looked out the window and I didn't see the cop cars, and I had no idea. I thought maybe they walked over, maybe they got smart and they walked over this time. And I was just still in bed, and my bed is a blanket on the floor, because this is human trafficking. It's not normal over here, okay? Because it's human trafficking. I'm a missing persons. I am Interpol Yellow Notice number 21-22733. That's who I am. And my bed is a blanket on the front room floor. And I was sitting there, undressed, still not even out of my bed yet, preparing to do my TENS unit, which is part of my physical therapy, and the knocking started, and it kept continuing, and I didn't know who it was, and I didn't see the cop cars, and so then the kicking started, the full force blunt kicking. Now, it is important to mention my door is barricaded from the floor up. I have a door jamb bar that I ordered from the internet, a security bar, plus I have 2 thick stainless steel knives jammed in there, and I have a table with a big 1970s style metal box fan sitting on top of it, and he broke through all of that. with the full blunt force kick of a 6-foot man. He never once said, it's maintenance or it's management or Miss Salem, it's Richard. He never once tried to call my phone and say, Miss Salem, if you're home, would you please open the door? It was one of two things. He either knew I was in here, and he decided to exercise power and authority that he doesn't have to stick his big old foot through my door and show me who's the boss around here, or he didn't know that I was even in this apartment and may have assumed that I was gone and when he found out his key didn't work, he was just going to kick the door open and find out what's going on in here that he doesn't know about. It's one of these two things. It is a crime of home invasion. Notice of the matter of the notice that I never received set completely aside. If that were the case, and this was actually something that was like a pre-planned and scheduled part of the operation in which I had been served with a 24-hour notice and they didn't get an answer at the door, okay, they don't just go to kicking doors down and doing physical property damage to their own building. No, they go downstairs and they try to call your phone and try to see can they get an answer to let you know that they're there. They announce themselves on the outside of the door as it's management, okay, and then they perhaps maybe leave a lease violation with a warning that they're coming back, okay. They don't just straight on the first try go to kicking down doors. And I am heard in the video, it's a 1-minute video, I included it in my email to you. I am heard in the video while he's kicking the door, as I'm going to the door, I'm going, stop, get out of here. You don't have a warrant for my arrest. And that's when Richard sticks his face between my broken door and says, I'm not here to arrest you, Miss Salem. I'm here to conduct the building inspections in his best professional KMG voice. Okay? And then I told him, I said, I'm not even dressed or anything. I said, you're going to have to come back in 1 hour. And he said, well, we will be back in 1 hour. And before that hour was up, before you even called, he got a call from my Adult Protective Service for the state of Michigan contact, who is operating as Adult Protective Service and has been involved in my case for my protection since 2021, and she is also working in cooperation with UN Human Rights and the International Criminal Court. That is the level that is on here. I'm a missing trafficked persons, and they are desperate to kill me. They have tried everything. They have tried to prove me mentally ill and have me have me kidnapped and committed. They have had me falsely arrested for a crime that I never committed, in which I have spent 3 weeks in jail and came home to my door plastered with manufactured third notices because they didn't that were backdated, that they didn't anticipate I was going to get out of jail and see. They thought that was it. That was the end of me. I have survived 3 assassination attempts in this apartment by electromagnetic terrorism. I'm talking 30-hour terrorist attacks. And see, this is all proven and verified. Okay, this is a serious thing, and I am under protection, and I am not alone. And really, it's just a matter of my intelligence details that come with me and my family, who we are, okay? To make this clear, I never signed up for the job, okay? I'm a trafficked and outsourced victim is what I am. And my family is a very important papal family of the Vatican. And this is about 13 family bloodline wars stuff. And these people are paranoid of me being here. They don't know who I am, but they know I'm somebody, and they're desperate to kill me, and they're desperate to get me out of here. And now I have I have a lease violation for quiet enjoyment interference. Well, I was the one who was sitting here quietly enjoying the isolation and the solitude of my own home, while Richard Griffen came, the 6'3" grown man that he is, and decided that he was going to bust through my door with his big old foot, completely uninvited, unexpected, and unannounced, to terrorize and traumatize me. And then he wants to give me a quiet and enjoyment interference. And what he's talking about, this letter about these false accusations for saying I threatened to kill them and I was name calling. No, I have the recording of that. Just like I told you yesterday, I got to get in my apartment and I got to be ready to record. And that is exactly what I did. I recorded it and I confronted Richard with his crimes to his face while I recorded it, and I informed the gentleman that was with him for what is the third time that he is an obstruction of justice in an international criminal investigation into missing persons, Interpol Yellow Notice number 21-22733, and that he needs to make his call to law enforcement to report the crimes that he does have knowledge and information of, and failure to do so is a threat to international national security, public safety, and human life. And this gentleman that was in this apartment yesterday has been told this 3 times, and they refuse. They absolutely refuse to do what they are obligated under international and federal law to do, and that's what I use against them. When you start talking the language of international law, which is my jurisdiction, these retards are dumb as a box of rocks. They don't know anything, and they're so arrogant that they think that you know, they're Americans. They're American citizens here in the United States of America, and they can do any goddamn thing they want to anybody. And if anybody gets in the way, hey, they're no problem. They'll just kill you off because they're the CIA. And then, you know, as far as they're concerned, they're God, okay? And they are. They're Satan. They're Satan himself. That's who they are. So this is what's really going on here, and my life is in danger. And you know, and this has been reported to law enforcement. I am on probation for the crime that I never committed, and I'm blessed to have a really, really good probation officer who is, you know, I'm lucky to have her, and I see it as a form of protection. And I made a law enforcement report with her last night, a detailed report with the link, and the report has also been made with the APS for the state of Michigan, Debbie Johns, who, as far as I understand, she was going to get off the phone with me and call here yesterday and talk to Richard. And there are other people involved who know about this on the International Criminal Court, and this is being treated like the crime that it is. And so you know, and I think Richard probably realized after he found out that I actually was in this apartment. I think that's when he started realizing he really does have a problem, because he never announced. I never got a notice. Okay, my neighbor across the hall verifies that. I left here at 4 p.m. for physical therapy. I came home at the end of the day after 9 p.m. There was no notice when I left. There was no notice when I returned. I have a recorded conversation with me and Richard about this, and he agreed that and I told him and I did tell Richard, my door is barricaded from the floor up, Richard, because my life is in danger. And he said, understood. I have it on video. I believe it was March 26th or 27th. He said, understood. And he said that from now on that we would coordinate, and I told him I will clear my schedules of all Mondays and Tuesdays to make sure that I can be here on Mondays and Tuesdays to comply. But I told him, I says, Richard, I need a 24-hour notice, and the reason is because if I don't answer the door and I don't even look out for any unexpected guest. I said, I don't look out the hole and see, oh, it's Richard, oh, it's maintenance, or, you know, or it's the cops here to kidnap me. No, there's a sign on my door. There's a big sign that says, warning, video surveillance. And under that is a big sign from the Human Rights Organization that says, warning, domestic terrorism. And it says, Global Missing Persons Alert, Interpol Yellow Notice number 21-22733, and it says, do not knock. Call Warren PD and reference this number, missing persons number instead. It says that has been posted on my front door for an entire year, ever since the Centerline PD kidnapped me out of here. And, and so now what Richard's trying to do, I believe he realizes the mistake that he made, and so now he's trying to flip this all around. And he's trying to use power and authority that he doesn't have to do it. And I have the video of when they came in, when he says I was name calling. What does he say? I just skimmed through it. I didn't even read it all because it's a bunch of bullshit. It says, you also threatened to kill us, telling us both we were charged with death and we will be killed. No, that is not what I said. I'm not an ignorant fool. I don't talk like that, Aaron. I don't walk around telling people I'm going to kill them. I don't talk like that. I talk in the language of international law, and I have the recorded video of when they came in here together. And it's posted all over Facebook with them kicking my door down too, on a protected page, which is often my only contact with the outside world, while they try to kill me or displace me and destroy me before anybody can know about it and get in front of it. I have been isolated and separated from my family and my children, who are also victims. For my youngest daughter, I haven't seen her in 2 years. I haven't seen my parents and my sister and my oldest daughter in 10 years. Okay, and I have a 4-year-old granddaughter who is on their list. Okay, and she's been on their list before she could even walk or talk. And and that's what it's about. DNA, pure-blooded, prime DNAs of a very important pet pal family. So it's always about DNA. And that's why I'm a missing persons. And I really wasn't going to tell you all of this, because I hope now that you know this, I hope you're going to decide not decide to not help me.
Okay, yeah, but again, for now, what I want is a doctor's note to request a...
Okay, that's another thing. I have a doctor's appointment today at 3:15. Upon finding out that you never got the document, I had to make 3 recorded phone calls next door to my care, who is contracted with these CIA criminals over here at KMG. And I had to sit on hold, and that's also posted because there's a thing with them too. It took me 3 phone calls, a total of about 20 minutes on hold, listening to music, before I finally got them to admit that no, the document has not been prepared, and that they will have one for me when I come there today at 3:15. Okay, so that, what they're trying to do is, okay, they embezzled that $49,000, and now and they're trying to get rid of me, and they're trying to get me out of this apartment. And since they haven't been able to do that yet, okay, at least they got to get me out of this apartment and start this construction before they end up having to put me in a hotel. And this apartment is not prepared. Nothing is prepared. See, I don't have furniture. I sleep on a blanket on the floor because it's human trafficking. Everything I own is mine and my daughter's stuff, packed in boxes from floor to ceiling on an entire half of what is supposed to be the bedroom. All of our belongings are packed and boxed up because we're not staying here in the United States. As soon as somebody can get in here and get us out, and this is years into it, we're out of here, and my stuff is packed and ready for the agents to put on a plane and send overseas with me. And these are heavy boxes of stuff that are from the floor to the ceiling. My kitchen cupboards, okay? I can't get up on a step stool and pack cans and stuff into boxes. I can't do any of that. I have days that I can't even get out of bed. And so now they're going to find that the apartment is not even prepared. Okay, because I have been denied my right to request a reasonable accommodation which I have mentioned to them numerous times. Okay, I've told them I'm requesting it, and it's recorded every conversation we have, so they know this. And and we have been violated our right to comply. I've been violated my right to comply. I never had a choice yesterday whether to open the door or not, because Richard decided to kick the door down, and he was not here for the maintenance thing or the inspection thing at that time because that boy was not with them. Richard was by himself, okay? And then when he came back in an hour, like I told them to, the boy was with them, and I recorded that too, and that's where he claims I called him names and threatened to kill him. No, I told him he's a criminal. I told him he's a corporate terrorist, and I told him that he is being charged with kidnapping, human trafficking, and terrorism as the rent-stealing corporate terrorist that he is, who has stolen my rent 3 times. And I told him, and I'm going after a treason charge. I'm taking your life on a treason charge for crimes of kidnapping, human trafficking, terrorism, and treason. And I am. That's very valid, and that is very legit. I am going to do that. He is going to die on a treason charge with a whole lot of other people. That is not a threat to kill. I don't talk like that. I'm not unintelligent like they are. I am an independent, mature adult, and I am a professional. And I do have self-respect and dignity that they don't have. They talk like that. I don't. So, okay, I'm going to the doctor at 3:15. And I'm going to be recording it too, and I'm not leaving there without documentation. And so I don't know. I guess I just will just be ready to walk out the door in 3 days and cop a squat in the parking lot, and then I'll just have to get a lease violation because the apartment is not prepared, and they'll just have to do it themselves anyways. Is that what I have to do?
Yeah, if you don't provide the doctor's note, if you don't, until we submit the reasonable accommodation request, you have to comply.
Well, no, I will have the doctor's note today, but but the delay. This delay is not my fault.
Send me the doctor's note. I'll send them in later and see what they have to say.
Okay, if I get the doctor's note, now my appointment's at 3:15, so it may be about 4 or 4:30. I don't know what your business hours are. So but I will get that to you as soon as I walk back over and get home. It's only right next door. And so I get that to you, and you have everything you need. And then if you try to make contact with them, what happens if they either avoid you, because they do that too, or if they refuse to comply? Then that's what I have to do. Just
we will talk about that afterwards. Let me first get the letter. Let me review that letter. Let me see if it is sufficient. Once I get that, we will see. Just one thing at a time. Let me get that one.
Okay, and I will, at the same time, I'll just wait when I get back to the doctor, and I will send you one email with all these additional new papers. Which I have 4 papers that were on my door this morning, and then I will include whatever is coming with the doctor's note. And I'm still waiting for something from my physical therapist too. With everything that's gone on, I forgot to ask her the last time I seen her. But I guess there's no time because I had to cancel my physical therapy again this week, and I had to cancel it one day last week because of KMG. Just like they screwed up my physical therapy and my rehabilitation last year, it ended up being 6 months worth of work in progress that all went towards nothing. Now I'm starting over at square one, and every week I have to cancel my physical therapy and my chiropractic to deal with these crimes that they are committing against me. So, okay, I will get that email to you today, but it may be after your business hours.
for your email.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate you.